Be prepared, right?
Easy, thank you very much. It goes there.
I'm going to let Larry go first.
Oh, that's fine.
Because he only has just a...
I am getting things rolling here.
Oh, no, not Larry first.
All right, I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay. We're on the clock, so I will call this meeting to order. DeKalb County Commissioners, and the date is November 21st, 2022. Morning, Larry, what you got?
Good morning. Hey, since everybody's going digital, we have a lot of lateral filing cabinets. I'm going to say in the neighborhood of 12 to 15. I sent out an email to everybody. I got rid of 2.
Are they three or four, or
Most of them are 4s.
four-door?
Yeah.
So they're like chest high?
Yeah. And anyway, I've got a couple people that would like to buy them for personal use. Nobody's responded. There's no sense in taking them to the basement because they're just gonna collect dust and be in the way. So I'm coming to you guys, see what you think. If we could come up with a price to set on them to sell them to people and get rid of them, and then whatever we have left, just take them OmniSource or whatever.
Are they cabinets, regular?
They're the
Lateral files.
lateral.
They're like what's in the front of my office.
Your mic on.
It's on now. All right, can you hear?
I can hear you
All
now.
right.
I'm just like the commercial. I can
You
hear
get-
you now.
You can scoot it up to you so you can sit back.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so they're just regular lateral filing cabinets?
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you think, guys, price-wise?
I think the last time $20?
Yeah.
We had some for
Be fine
sale.
with me, that's more than they're worth in scrap.
Yeah.
I can shoot an email out to, I've got a list of all the nonprofits just to see if anybody
There you go.
could use something too.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'll send that email out this afternoon.
Okay. So go at, like Sandy at the treasurer said she would like to buy 4 of them. So just go ahead and,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
okay,
make it so, number one.
okay.
you stole my line.
All right, that's all I needed. Unless you guys got anything for me where I'm here.
Only thing I wanted to mention is Larry rewired these thermostats on these heaters.
Yep,
So there's no indefinite on anymore. It's strictly on, off through the thermostat itself.
nice.
Yeah, he
Were they wired wrong, or did you just remove a function?
I removed a function.
yeah.
Good.
That's good, simple's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So-
got with the company, they talked about putting one thermostat, rewiring them up to a joined thermostat, and they said, well, just go in and take that one function out of them, and so we're,
Thank you.
So we'll see what that does and if we need to put the one thermostat in. But I think this will take care of our problem.
Good. Great.
thanks, Larry.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thanks, Larry, you have a great day.
Yep, you guys too.
Okay, Dottie, go for it.
Wow, Larry warmed up the seat for me. Thank you. All right. Well, probably the most important thing would be hiring right now. Change Academy has a part-time juvenile facilitator that they are recruiting for. Of course, the continual with the sheriff's department. The clerk's department has a clerk position that she is recruiting for, and she has scheduled 1 interview so far this week. The assessor's office has a full-time person who's moving to part-time. So there's no recruiting there. The commissioners asked me to post, and so we've had 1 response on that. I forwarded that to you last week. And then, of course, Sunny Meadows, director. And I conducted telephone screening interviews with anyone who responded back. I'm sorry, Todd, but the one with the nurse is,
That's what I
yeah,
heard.
sorry,
She
yeah.
just didn't respond, huh?
Well, I had heard through the party who had recommended her that she'd taken another position.
It doesn't surprise me. Being a RN, you can
Yeah.
pretty much name your price anywhere and your hours, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, good for
So-
her. All right.
Anyway, yeah, so I didn't rank them at all. I just gave them bachelor number 1, bachelor number 2, whatever.
Bachelor number 2.
And, one of you had a great idea to go ahead and do the interviews, here and do a tour later. And I would be happy to that very day, maybe just be out there at Sunny Meadows after the interviews and give them a tour of the facility, and then you guys could just stay here and focus on the interviews, if that's what you would like. Or, maybe we could get Dawn to do the tours, whatever. Anyway, so that's where we're at. It's now in your lap, which, if all of them, or just narrow it down to, 3 of the 5 that we had, so.
Ever watch the movie Survivor?
Oh, yes.
What?
Let's
You
hire
want
all
them
of
to do
them and throw them all in there and see who's left in that, so.
duke it out?
I don't know.
Maybe I'll do the tour first.
What's your, so, yeah, can we talk
Sorry.
about our thoughts here, or is that for an executive session?
I think you can talk about the
Can't talk
thoughts,
about
you know.
specific people or
Right.
mention any names or anything.
Right, right,
yeah.
just go.
That's why I did candidates, so, and I know who they
General thoughts are
are, I
legal.
marked them, so.
The one I liked without the degree, what'd you think of them?
That was number 2. Nice personality, has worked there before.
Yeah.
Knows the facility, and had actually reached out to Dawn to ask about the position. So was one of the first, 2 to know about it even before we posted it. So, would consider actually living there. And how she expressed it was that it would be, the same reason probably why the person lived there in the past. Just the availability, the accessibility of the person and not having to call them in. Like I said, good personality, has interesting background with regard to food service. So, there's and management in food
Yeah.
service. The thought process of ordering and, nutrition to work with the cook to make sure that, the residents are fed, nutritious meals. So that would be one that I would recommend an interview.
I agree.
Yeah, I just, again, from that 30,000-foot view, that one just struck me. It just seemed like a go-getter, seemed like someone that was really interested, worked there before and wants to go back.
Yes.
To me, that tells you something,
Yeah.
because they know what the situation is there. But the others seem fine, too. There was good qualifications. That one just struck me as very... Okay.
I think we need to take a look at probably your top 3 recommendations. And at least in my mind, part of the criteria is that we need to move the bar up in terms of management skills and qualifications in working with developmentally challenged folks. So,
Do you have a preference of the other 4? Or the 5, whatever, how you want to put it?
no, I don't.
Just whatever die. Number 2 for sure.
Yeah,
Well, I thought number 5, because of the history of actually having worked with that population.
yeah, that's an advantage.
That was definitely an advantage, with also the associates in business administration and just having worked. hands-on with that population, but also in a different position, more in a consultation, where that person is now, trying to put people together with services that are available. Okay, that's somebody who really is thinking outside the box and trying to make lives better. So that was another one. And candidate number 1 also had, that same sort of population working with Easter Seals Ark, and also different property communities. Now, let me go back. Candidate number 5 only had worked with, a budget as her home budget. But candidate number 1 actually has managed properties and knows how to get into contracts with landscaping or snow removal, those sorts of things, repair. And by the way, that was one of the first things that I mentioned, was why we put the word interim in the ad. And so I tried to give them the lay of the land. This is what, we have a lot of moving parts. It's, precarious.
Yeah.
And so it's all of them, I wouldn't have forwarded one to you had they had said, oh, no, I don't think I would. So anyway, those would be my top 3. I'd say 1, 2, and 5.
Okay, I think that's good enough for us.
Okay.
I'm okay
So,
with that.
what time?
Executive session begins at 10:15 on the 28th. So,
You guys need to do other things before those?
I think we should do those first.
Okay, all righty.
So,
Yeah, that should,
20 minutes each? 30 minutes?
I don't,
They take that, would it?
no, I think 15,
15?
yeah.
Okay,
We think Todd,
Schedule them at 15-minute intervals.
yeah.
okay. All right. Okay. You want, at 10:15? Boom?
10:15, 10:30,
10:30.
10:45?
Yeah, I'll do 10:30. And what is your preference? Would you like for, when they're finished here, we'll have them go out to Sunny Meadows and I can meet them there? Or what would you like? Would you like me to arrange with Don to do the tour?
No, I think if we're going to do it that way, you should probably do the tour. And,
I think so too.
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you do it, Dottie. If you would,
Yes, happy to do that.
So we could just have the 3 of them meet you there at the same time, maybe? Or you want to do them individually?
Probably individually, yeah.
okay.
And that way we can just kind of keep things moving, and I will be able to give you maybe some feedback also with regard to
Right,
comments that
right.
were made out at the tour.
Yeah, that
So,
would be helpful.
Well, you know what the timetable is, so I would suggest that you make the arrangements to meet them at Sunny Meadows on whatever timetable works out
okay,
there.
Yep.
And,
Yeah,
is that all right?
yeah,
okay, can do. All right, good. This is making me feel a lot better.
Okay.
Just the anxiety of you have an open position and you want to make sure that it gets, we get things taken care of.
Oh, come on, you thrive on the stress.
Yes, yes, I live for that.
don't we all?
Don't we, Susan?
Yes, we do.
Yes, all right. Okay, let's talk about work comp. We had, in the month of, it was actually October, so we're a month behind, but we had a confinement officer who had his left ring finger was shut in between a door and a door frame, thanks to a prisoner. Anyway, so the impact cut and fractured his fingertip. So thank goodness that one is closed. Back to work. Now, we still have open ones. We do have a former employee from Change Academy, and that one is in subrogation right now. There haven't really been any charges for a while, but that was a slipping on the ice out there at Change Academy. That happened in,
They're subrogating with the landlord, right?
yes, exactly, or the landlord's insurance company. So that happened in February of 2021. And these things just take a while. We had another sheriff's department. It was a puncture. It was a dog bite. It was the suspect's dog who bit the officer, and so that is still ongoing. That only happened in October. So that's about $3,000 right now. Then we had another transportation officer, right hand and knee contusion. The vehicle was transporting an inmate and was hit by another vehicle. You guys kind of remember that one? So right now, that one's in subrogation because that was the other vehicle. A former sheriff's department was assisting with an inmate that had a seizure and was bloodborne pathogens, and this person, the spit got into the injured worker's mouth, and so that one is kind of ongoing. Right now, we have about $6,000 involved in that one. We have another, the right middle finger, performing his.
Can you show us?
Pick a finger there, Todd, yes. And the poor guy, he came.
Read between the lines.
I know, yeah, read between the lines, yes. Officer came into our office, and it's like, well, you've got a permanent opinion now. So anyway, yes, once again, it was the jail door, and it closed on his finger, and so anyway, that's still open. That happened in September, and I'm hoping that one is closing really soon. Then we have the long-term one from October of 2020, and this officer was training his own canine, and the officer corrected him, pulled, and pop went the shoulder. And so the officer just recently had his third surgery to correct this injury. They have incurred $242,000 in all of this, and we are truly hoping that this is on the downside. Normally, work comp claims do not last more than 2 years. But, we're being the benevolent employer and taking care of this employee. And yeah. So it's kind of a messy one, but we're getting through it. And we've had great partners with IPEP. They're in touch with us all the time. They, early on in the process, they assigned a nurse to go with this officer to all the appointments, to make arrangements with doctors' offices and facilities, really acting as an advocate to move this project along. I think they've just done a great job with this. It's the nature of some of the injuries. It's one of those that has been aggravated by, something that was already there. So they're just working to try to make this officer as whole as possible. So to be continued, I'm afraid. The officer's post-op is next Tuesday, so we should know more about, will there be PT? Will the officer be able to come back to work without restrictions? Because our sheriff does not allow anyone to come back on a modified duty schedule. So we shall see. Speaking of officers, I have met with the newly elected officials that we have, and those have been good. The onboardings of Rick Collins, who will be one of our new council person, came in, and we did that. And so we're just trying to make sure that they understand that HR is here to help, and whatever we can do to, facilitate their transition into being a newly elected official. We'll help them with whatever. If it means just putting them in touch with the right department, we do that. As I've mentioned before, my name is Dottie. I connect the dots. So let's see. Jim, you have results of the survey?
I have.
He does. Yay. All right.
This is Todd's copy I brought, but I have it.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys are you want it presented at the department heads meeting, which is December 7th at 1 o'clock first, to talk to the department heads about the results of that survey, or post it on the intranet for all employees to view. Kind of up to you. So
I left in the redacted part, to redact it,
Okay.
okay? Just so you know. The one.
Yeah,
that
the
you-
ones, yeah.
If you can give Dottie a copy and Todd a copy.
My suggestion would
Do you
be
have it marked? Oh,
to do it initially at the department head meeting if you want to just release it generally. We should do that afterwards, but I think the department heads should take a look at it first. Where is the department head meeting, by the way?
it will be in the white room of the annex, down in the basement.
Way
I think
down,
that's a good plan.
way down in the basement.
I think the employees should be able to see what was written.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with it.
I left my hearing aids home,
Oh,
and I can only hear out of this ear and nothing in this one.
turn sideways.
So whatever you said.
So Todd, talk only out of one side of your mouth, I
Yeah,
guess,
okay.
is to get to
That's
Jim.
what we
Yeah.
do.
Okay,
There's more of
so-
these, there's more of these in the door down there.
so,
We'll have everybody.
Everybody will be,
What?
okay, so I have this now, because I just took it from him.
Big meeting.
Can I just email you a copy back? And then
Just scan it,
Oh, yeah.
email's fine.
Scan an email.
I'm
Yep.
keeping it, you can't have it back. You can't have it back, I'm keeping it.
I'm not taking it. I said,
No
Dottie
take-backs.
wanted a copy.
Okay. Yes, Dottie and I will get together.
okay.
All right. The other thing is that I've been trying to work with a couple entities on a timeline about our self-insurance project. And we need to really, I'm trying to gather as much information as soon as possible, because if we look at the timeline and if we stay with a July 1 active, this is what we need to do. And so I'm trying to pull together as much information as possible so that then you guys can make a determination of what direction are we going to go. So we haven't dropped the ball on that. It's right in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I figured it was.
It
And
was.
I think we've narrowed down to probably two potential providers or,
Administrators.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a matter of, if you would like us to continue with that, try to eliminate one and then bring a proposal in with all of the numbers attached, or have both make a presentation.
I'm thinking both. What do you think, Todd?
Both for what? I'm sorry, I was reading an email from someone.
The administrators for the
Self-insurance.
self-funded health insurance. They've got two, narrowed down to two they're thinking about, I guess. Have one or both of them come in with presentation. I think both.
I think so. Yeah.
I think we can do that.
Now, when we're talking the self-insurance too, we still have to maintain our liability policy,
Yeah.
the garage, or call it garage policy, our workman's comp policy.
Oh, no, we're only talking,
talking
we're
health
only
only.
talking
This
health
is only
insurance.
Health only.
Yep, medical,
Okay.
dental, and vision. That's the only
Gotcha.
part that I'm
Yeah,
working
just
on.
wanna make sure
Yeah,
that we're-
yep. We actually are self-insured for the short-term disability,
Yeah, I knew
however,
that.
so, yep. So, yes, so I'm working on that. I have meetings with both of those entities in the next couple weeks. And, it's not like buying a snowplow. There are certain things that each one brings to the table. So it's not one, one model of snowplow that we're talking about. HR, of course, is looking at, and I know you guys are looking at numbers, I'm looking at numbers too. I'm also looking at service to the county, to our auditor's office for numbers, for dollars, administration. I'm looking at HR and our employees for their customer service and able to educate our employees. Really what I'm hoping is that employees it won't matter that we're self-insured, that they will have the same sort of coverage. They will pay
employees-
less.
The team shouldn't notice any difference at all.
Right, exactly. It's
and-
us on the other end. Yeah.
The important thing, as we consider this moving forward, is that this is a different scenario than being a fully funded relationship with the insurance company. We have to look at this as a long-term partnership
Yeah.
with with the TPA, with our third-party administrator, because that's not a situation where you want to be
No.
changing
No.
frequently, because it is a partnership, rather than the insurance company providing the service. So,
Yes.
that's why it's really important that we've kind of gotten as far as we've gotten and weeded out some of the other prospects and really ended up, I think, with two very, very capable and competent possibilities.
Yeah. Yes, and references really from, for both, are great. Yeah. So that's making me feel a little bit better too.
Okay.
About that. Yep. So, anything you guys have for me? It's sort of a short week, but, HR moves along no matter what.
Dot, anything for Dottie? I have nothing else. Jim, anything for Dottie? Susan? You are cut loose.
Okay, all right.
Have a good week.
Thanks.
Have a good
Yeah,
short
happy
week.
Thanksgiving.
And two
Yeah.
and two. Is that what he
Yeah,
said
same
on the
here.
dating game? 2 and 2?
2 and 2. Yeah.
I think we should do bachelor number 1, bachelor number 2, and bachelor number 3 and put them in a booth.
Or it could have been what's behind door number 1.
Yeah, let's make a deal.
There you go. There you go.
Have a good day, Dottie.
Okay. Moving forward. Claims.
I'll move to approve claims as presented.
Second?
I had want to make a comment about, just a question, I guess, about claims. The gasoline expense for the sheriff department? Wow,
Big money.
big money. Is that for every 2 weeks? Is that a month,
I think it's monthly.
monthly?
You do a lot of miles and those cars
Yeah.
run all the time. They don't shut them off.
Yeah. And I understand, we got to cover, we got to cover what we got to cover.
It's expensive.
But I didn't know if there's some way to go to something that was a little more economical.
Well,
As far as-
I tried to crunch some numbers on putting a fueling station in for gasoline.
Yeah,
I mean, we're only saving about 3 cents a gallon over
Right.
the pump price. the way we are now. But I think we're kind of at the break-even point where the expense of putting in a
Yeah,
tank, and it wouldn't have to be a big enough tank to take a full load of gasoline at a time, because you can always get a split load of gas and diesel, but, you know, I don't know that the numbers are really justify putting a fueling station in at the highway
right,
department.
and then you get that
Just sheriff
liability,
department fuel.
you get into the liability, you get into insurance cost
But
increases.
plus you have to drive to that fuel farm,
Yeah,
and that takes gas and time.
Yeah.
Now, if you're right next to it, it's a net savings,
Well,
but
yeah.
the chances of everyone being close to it,
Yeah.
whereas being able to stop at the nearest gas station is.
you know, and I was thinking if we were gonna do that, maybe at the new jail site would be a better location.
That would be a
That's
better
true,
location
yeah.
for sure.
That's true.
Centralized, majority of the cars are gonna be at
Absolutely.
that point.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because that's where the storage would be in the
Yeah.
shop for the cars and,
Something to think about.
yeah,
Other than that, all you can do is more economic, they could all drive Volkswagens or Beetles or something like that, that would cut the
smart
cost. Smart cars. Now, smart cars really aren't that good,
yeah. I know, they only get 40 mile a gallon. That's
yeah.
a motorcycle with a shell on it.
Yeah, but I know that, and then there again, the availability is limited,
Yeah.
and who will produce those police cars? Can't just go out and buy anything and have it a police car. So, okay, something to think about in the future,
Yeah, I agree.
okay.
I think there's some cost savings to be had in the right configuration.
Yeah,
But the big thing's being able to take a full load too, because if you get a full load dump, you get a much better rate than a
right,
jobber.
you gotta full load,
Yeah,
and you
full-
gotta have a buffer above that.
Yeah, which is means you need at least a 10,000 gallon tank, maybe even close to 12, because if you're down to 3,000 gallons and you're ready to fill, and the price is right, you want to be able to take that full 8,000,
Right.
you know,
Is that what they're hauling now, 8,000?
8,000.
Yeah, probably 12,000, you need 50% surplus.
Yeah, that 12,000, that's at the airport they do, they put two 12,000 gallon
Yeah,
tanks.
okay.
Loads.
All right, well, having said that, having
Aye.
expressed that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same, motion carries. Minutes. Read the minutes. Minutes look good.
Minutes look good.
I
Yeah.
thought so.
Motion to approve minutes.
Second.
Motion is second to approve minutes and additional comments. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same, motion carries. Travel.
I'll move to approve travel.
Second.
A motion is second to approve travel. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the same. Travel is approved. Okay. You want to get into the buggy ordinance? You want to,
Can we clean up some of these simpler ones first, maybe,
Yeah.
to knock them off?
In terms of that, if I can just say something now and then whatever you want to do, but I did try, I made an effort to take out all of the duplications because we had horse-drawn vehicles, we had horse-drawn trailers, and now we've combined them into one. I've made an effort to take it all out. I was rushed doing it to get it done before our email went out. It was supposed to be sent to you, each of you, and you might want to review that and then discuss it another Monday, just to see that I caught everything. And
We may have some other.
and I got something from, a good idea from Mike to change the use of consultants agreement that we put together. And that's the same thing, that you should each have copies of it and review it, and then we can talk about that as well next week.
Yeah, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll still have to hold another public hearing on the horse-drawn vehicle ordinance final form.
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Because of the fees and fines.
But I think you should be comfortable with what's in there before you have another public hearing.
Well, yeah, I think we have some discussion to have on what that final form looks like. And I have a meeting with Mr. Zaire this afternoon
Oh, okay,
to look at the lighting and so
On the
forth,
lighting.
so, yeah.
okay, so that needs to be
He promised
cleaned up.
he promised it would warm up this afternoon, so.
Yeah. Okay, we'll table that. And to get on again next week.
Okay.
More information on the lighting, we can go over
Yeah, the
this.
lighting, I wanted to know. One comment I'd make real quick is, I didn't read your new, I saw one that you just hand scratched some notes on.
There's a new one since then that was sent out Friday.
Really?
Yeah, I think Sarah sent it out, I think.
Oh, that, you know what?
Yeah,
Probably didn't even see it since she sent it instead of, I get literally, Sarah, there she
Wasn't
is.
in mine.
Okay.
I had sent your guys' stuff.
I'll look at that. Yeah, because
that.
that's some of the things I made is there shouldn't be any difference between a horse-drawn vehicle and a horse-drawn trailer. Just call it any vehicle pulled behind a
Those
horse.
were my marching orders, so
Okay.
I hope I accomplished that.
yeah, if it's got a horse in front of it, needs a tag.
Okay. So what I'm reading is still saying under section 1, 2A, you still have horse-drawn vehicle, and then you also have horse-drawn trailer.
Well, but I connected them. And I may have missed one there. You said, what was the number?
It's the very beginning, section 1,
A.
2A, as used in this ordinance, horse-drawn vehicle means a baggage carriage, dray, or wagon.
Well, that, I guess that pretty much covers it, don't it?
Well, I know, but then it says also,
Yeah,
since horse-drawn trailer means a wagon or trailer, couldn't we just say a vehicle, a horse-drawn vehicle, anything pulled behind a horse? Because you know what I'm saying? Well, this isn't really a trailer, and this really isn't a buggy, it's a kid sled. You know what I'm saying? Or if we say it has wheels, well, we're pulling a sled, so yeah, I don't know.
I
I
get-
just think
I
keep
get
it simple, and anything pulled behind a horse would be my suggestion. But
That work, Jim? Is that defined enough? Or do we
Yes.
actually define all those categories?
I connected, I said horse-drawn vehicle or horse-drawn trailer throughout as much of it as I could. The last sentence in that one thing you were talking about, Todd, does not include horse-drawn agricultural implements because those are permitted without having to do it. So
Right.
I don't think that needs
I
to
see what
come
you're
out.
saying. Okay.
No, that needs to stay in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anything else on that subject?
If you see anything and you want me to get it to Susan in Word for next week, go ahead and send it to me. I don't have a legal assistant, so it'll just be this week. Yes, our thing is you either take your vacation or you lose it.
Or
And
send
so-
it, or send it to me because I have the Word document and I can just
Yeah, that's a better thing.
not have 5,000 different
I agree.
Okay,
copies.
we can do that. Drug-free grant award claims.
Okay, so the program, you guys, I looked back in the minutes, it was a meeting, I wasn't here. You approved the program on 10/17. And then, it said further paperwork would be coming. So now they have submitted all the, MOUs between the organizations and the, grant recipient contracts, all connected with the claim forms. So we just need a motion for the president to sign the grant contracts, and then I can submit them for payment. You don't have to approve the
Right.
claim form because that will come in claims.
President signed the drug-free grant, be the proper term for it, grant,
Contract.
Contract,
not application, but contract,
grant recipient contract.
grant recipient contract.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Are there any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries, I will sign. Sign, sign, sign.
Okay, so. It's gonna just be, you can just sign and I can do your title. I have all the signature pages,
Okay, just that one?
all of them.
All of them? You had to make it tough, didn't you?
I did.
More than what you need there.
Oh,
Oops.
I think they just got stuck together.
Stop.
At least
Sorry.
two trees, at least 2 trees are represented there.
Yeah. There. Wow. Okay, that takes care of that. Let's go back to the schedule and bring up Terry Rosenberry. What you got for us?
Good morning.
Morning.
I live,
Is
Sign.
there a blue light on there?
Yeah, I can, would you sign in?
pardon me?
Would you sign in on the?
Yes, I did.
You did, oh, thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Good morning. I should have come to you before the solar panel thing came into play about the speed limit on the road I live on. But now that the solar fields are coming into play, I live on County Road 44, which is right there out of SDI. I would like to have, there's 8 families that are non-participating, and we feel like we're kind of being left out. We need to get that speed limit lowered. Right now, it's not marked, it's a rural road, and I believe, I'm correct, 55 miles an hour is the speed limit. We have grandchildren, we have, new families coming in. My understanding, our roads are going to be paved. That's just going to increase, they already fly down the road, but we need to do some traffic control on that road. It's crazy, and semis come down the road all the time. They're not supposed to. And when the construction starts for the solar fields, are they going to enforce, like with the farmers, they're not allowed, when they get out of the field, they can't bring all that dirt and everything. They have to make sure they don't leave trash and stuff on the roads. I want to make sure that the construction trucks will be all held to that accountability too. And, when the construction's going on, can we kind of do a temporary, just have them not go so fast that, when they're during the construction, and I would like to have it posted too.
In order to post that, we have to do a traffic study on it.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't. I know somebody has it. I've seen those little black strips across the road many, many times.
Have they been across that road?
Is that a paved road or is that gravel?
That's dirt.
It's
Do you-
dirt, it's gravel.
Can I ask you something, your opinion? Do you want your road paved? Would you
Not
be?
really.
Really?
No, it's just going to be, it's
This
just
gentleman
going
too, so that's.
it's just going to increase the traffic,
I've heard that from a lot of people,
And I
just
have
so
to
you
say
guys
too,
know.
about that dirt road, I have an excellent relationship with SDI.
Yeah.
They will pay more times to get that road, the
Yes.
dust stuff.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know they say the highway department won't let them do it as much as they want to do it.
That's not true.
I'm just telling you what they told me. It could be done a whole lot more than once or twice a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it probably needs to be done once a month during the summer.
I'd be great.
But that,
You know?
You have a lot of traffic on that road.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And the semis come down the road all the time, big signs.
But you're happy with it being gravel? I mean,
I'm not happy with it, but I don't want
no,
it
I mean,
paved.
gravel is
Yes,
fine with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just curious.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Would you think that's a common thought among your neighbors too, or?
Yes, I talked to all of them, and they feel the same way.
Okay.
Especially
That's
there's two of
interesting.
them. They got one, Doug and his wife just had a baby. My grandkids come over, and we got kids. We got all kinds of kids running four-wheelers.
I think he was asking if they all feel that it shouldn't be paved
Yeah.
like you.
They don't want it paved either.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But we
I've
do
heard
want
that
it. We're not
comment a
going to
lot.
pave
That's
it. We
why
want
we-
it more dust controlled.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And we definitely want it marked. I mean, we have to do something about that. It's just crazy. And I've stopped vehicles because I didn't know the speed limit was that fast. So,
Well, I
You know,
guess,
Go ahead.
if we're gonna, first thing to do is find out if in fact there has been a traffic study down there, because there is a definite procedure that needs to be followed.
And I
To
understand.
change the speed limit. So if you've seen
I've seen them,
the-
yeah.
the counters
Yeah. Right
out.
over the railroad tracks.
Then perhaps Ben has that information, but that'll be the first thing we'd have to check out.
Right, right. And we could, if we do have that, we could post it.
And I agree, when I drive down a gravel road, I go 10 mile an hour because I can't stand the
I
dust.
don't pay $80,000 for them cars, and they're hauling
Yeah,
butt
they're
down
doing
that road.
60. So I can understand your concern because in my opinion, you shouldn't be running 55 down a gravel
Yeah.
road. It's just not safe. The traction isn't there. There's no markings on the road. It should be probably a 40, 45 mile an hour road maximum.
I absolutely agree with that.
But there's a way to do that, like Bill said.
Well, and that process has been started with Ben Smaltz, our state rep, to lower these speed limits on secondary county roads.
Yeah.
It wouldn't apply to all counties, it'd be an opt-in, opt-out situation. But 55 is ridiculous.
That's too fast. Yeah.
It's too fast. Even on some of our asphalt roads, it's too fast.
And those studies, will you be able to tell if semis are running those things over, or is it just tells you how many things hit? I would really like to show you how many semis go down that road.
I think it would distinguish by the number of axles that go across that county.
You'd be surprised how many semis go down that road
And,
after
you know,
midnight.
we fought this thing forever.
And this is the road that we posted signs on, no trucks, right?
Yeah, it's no trucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
They're not
Yeah,
obeying, they're
it's
not obeying
posted
the
there.
signs, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a shortcut to
Yeah.
yeah, and I get that, but
still.
40 is what we paid to have billed for them, so.
I can certainly understand your frustration with that.
Maybe some random enforcement.
I'm not gonna call the sheriff to come out there and do that.
No, we're talking just have someone
Oh,
sitting
okay.
out there so they can nail them.
Yeah.
And
Just randomly for the truck issue
Yeah.
particularly.
It seemed like that has been neglected.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got to
I'm
get on
sorry to
top of
say.
that.
When the semis come down, all I have to do is get the name of the company, and I just call the gate, and they handle it from there. I guess they get fined, is what I was told, but I'm not doing that anymore because there's only 3 people that live on that road,
Yeah.
and there's some scary people out there. I've had truck drivers park in the middle of the road, couldn't speak English, and using their phone to get to SDI, and I was right behind them, and
Oh, my.
I told them the really wrong way, but anyway. It's the speed limit is a
Send them
concern.
to Hicksville. Say, turn right.
I did. I sent them that way, but
Good for you.
Before you go, just for the record, can you please state your address?
6260 County Road 44, Butler.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate your input.
And we're here to work with you. We're not participating. We're not going anywhere. And you made a statement that I want to address. You made a statement, you moved to Leo, they put a trailer park in behind you, and you moved. I can't do that. The Rosenberry Farm has been a continuous,
I know.
family-owned,
Yeah.
and that's a little bit different.
No, I'm just saying is what I meant by that statement is you can't control development around you if you
Right.
don't own it. And unfortunately, the easiest thing for me to do is take my loss and move. But some people have been there 100, 150 years. I can see the grief in that. Yeah, there's no
And I'm not
doubt.
judging anybody that goes for it. I don't know their story.
Sure.
I'm here to work with you. So have a good day, have a good Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you very much.
So what's my next step?
We need to talk to Ben,
Yeah, we need to get some
see
information.
what we have to do to correct this, because this is an issue.
Yeah, and Ben won't be in today. He's
And
gone.
he's
but-
gone this week, I think.
Yeah,
But we'll find out if there has in fact been a traffic study done. and then we'll know how to proceed from there.
I appreciate it.
Are one of you gonna reach out to SDI on the
I'm sorry?
dust
on the-
control stuff to see?
I'd appreciate that big time.
Yeah, because is SDI, is that the road that they're paying, SDI pays?
Yes,
I
they
believe
paid,
so.
they told us,
Yeah.
they told me they help pay for it.
Yeah, they can do it every month if they
Yeah,
want.
they would. And SDI is great. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have any, and as long as the
doesn't that
birds
come
are,
from,
as long
like,
as there's birds in their
SDI
pond out
sets
there, I
that
know
up,
they're
right?
okay.
Yeah.
If there ain't no birds in that pond, they got a problem.
Yeah, well, I think
that's,
the best solution for now anyway is get that dust control once a month and get that posted as 45 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Then we can get a police officer out there and check those speeds.
We need
Okay,
Ben
I
to
think-
call SDI and tell them,
I
hey,
think there might be a little confusion, because I think that, well, maybe it's my confusion. When you were talking about SDI, I was thinking that you were thinking that the SDI that they paid us for the dust control that we had done, but that's something that SDI does on their own.
Right.
That's
So
my understanding. That's my understanding.
they
Right.
set it up and do it however many times
I
they
wonder if
want.
Ben though has to direct it. He probably has to approve it
Right.
because it is our road. They can't just do it. So I
Probably-
think he needs to approve them, say, hey,
Yeah. Do it-
we want you
do it
once a
as often
month
as
on
you
the
want.
first of the
And
month to
actually,
hit it.
Ben should make that request.
That's what I'm saying. We need to tell Ben,
Yeah, he has a contact.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know, for sure, so,
All right.
so we'll make that happen.
I thank you very much. Have a
Thank you,
good
Terry.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting, guys. I've talked to more people that don't want their road paved than do want their road paved. Mr. Provine's neighbor, Sean, I said, well, the nice thing is you'll get your road paved when you get to solar farm. He goes, you better not. He's dead serious. He doesn't want the traffic on his road. Yeah, and speed, yeah, so I'm just saying, it goes both ways.
Yeah, I've probably heard 60/40, 61 at 40 don't.
Yeah, I'm probably
Some-
about there too.
something, I
About
know.
the same.
It's just interesting that,
Right.
Just as a footnote, I've really been taking a deep dive into these things. The road use agreement will require an outside, like USI or somebody to come in and evaluate all the roads before anything starts, and then we'll have a baseline
Where to go
condition and recommendations and so forth for what happens subsequently, so.
Okay. All righty, we got about 7 minutes. Courthouse use application. I think it's next June.
Yeah, June. I like people who plan ahead.
Yes, yes, right to life. Kind of a,
out in the lawn,
I'm fine with that. They just want to use the sidewalk anyway.
they just want the
yeah,
sidewalk.
the north sidewalk.
Sidewalk's fine.
Yeah.
I hate the lawn idea just because it opens up, well, you approved right to life, now you gotta allow the Church of Satan or whatever to come, you know what I'm saying? If they're on the sidewalk, we can't stop that anyway.
Well, it's the walk coming up to the front.
Oh, the walk coming to
Yeah,
the
not the
front?
perimeter sidewalk.
Okay, okay.
It'd be that wide area up to the north.
I'm
I
all
believe.
for right to life, don't get me, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really, I think it's along the roads, so they can have their little rally. I mean, they may come up, but they're gonna be standing against the road.
Yeah.
But when she called, she requested how to get approval to use the north side of the courthouse lawn. And so that is why I told my office, I said, well, you need to send her this, but now she's just saying
Just a sidewalk.
sidewalk.
Yeah,
So,
I'm good with it.
Okay, motion?
yeah. I'll move to approve the application as written.
Second that.
A motion and second. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries. Well, we can move on. I think we got time to do that capital improvement plan signature.
yeah, whatever you guys wanna do. I'm actually saving up your documents to sign today.
God love you. I'll move to approve Resolution 2022-R-20, the capital improvement plan.
Second.
A motion and a second. Are there any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion is approved. Okay.
I have another quick thing if you want to do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sheriff's Deputy Alinsky, he contacted me over the weekend, and he has 2 vehicles that are going to auction because they got new ones. So I just need a motion that you can sign the back of the titles.
Motion? Signed, you need to look at the
I
titles.
have to think on that for a while.
Yeah,
That's complicated.
that's complicated.
I'll move for the president to endorse the titles of the vehicles going to the auction.
A motion and a second. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. I will sign.
Thank you. Okay, now you can go on.
Okay. Amber, are you ready?
I emailed it all to them, and then I have them for signatures.
I'll take one if you,
These are the ones I have.
thank,
Fine.
Oh, it's fine. Okay. No, you're fine.
yeah, because I see that.
Yeah, actually, I'll take one. I don't know if I saw that. I'll put one of those with our, I don't remember. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just didn't print
If
it.
that's an extra.
So the first, I would like to officially recommend that Damian Dunn fill the board appointment from the commissioners. He is a longstanding resident. He lives by the golf course. He is a festival representative, so I stepped off of the festival board so I could help more on the club and the auction side of things. And I still would love to have a festival rep just because it is one of the biggest branding pieces. So just to kind of have that conversation of what's happening. We have had a hotelier kind of represented, but the turnover in the hotels is so vast right now. I'm having a really hard time finding a replacement. And I just hate having a board seat sit empty because that's a lost vote. That's a lost voice. It's a lost contribution. So if we can't get it there, I'd like to have it filled in with him. Once again, that's your disappointment.
I would move that we appoint Damian Dunn to the DeKalb County Tourism Commission as requested by the executive director.
Who is Damian Dunn? I know some Dunns.
Cassie Dunn is his wife. She owns the, I know they do the audit for the museum.
Okay.
I mean, so they're both kind of like financial people. He does the Pete the Planner financial planning out of Indy. He does a segment with him.
Do you know his
he's-
father or his mother? That's who I would know,
I
probably.
don't.
Okay.
But I know there's like a, once again, it's the Auburn, like there's a history there.
I've
I
been
just don't
sitting
quite know
here
what it is.
trying to think of it, and I can't think of it.
I think his dad has passed.
Oh, Dad's back.
It's who?
I think his dad has passed.
Oh.
I think it was,
So you're recommending Damian then?
I am.
Oh, like,
I have no problem with
Got a second?
Damian. That's second, yeah.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Are there any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
That's just for Damian, right?
Right.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries.
Well, we have this other agreement. I want to make sure we were.
Yeah, definitely just that. So then the next point of business is basically, so the Visitors Bureau, when I say we, has been kind of downtown. We were at the strip mall across the street by Kroger, and one of the things they brought me in for when I first became executive director was to relocate onto what made sense. So we moved in the old Auburn heating and cooling business. We're renting from Rick Purdy. So we started having a conversation about everything that he owns, what happens to all of his basically land when he passes. It could be, anybody. It could be tomorrow or 10 years, who knows. As of right now, he is in the best position to kind of maintain that ownership. He takes really great care of us and really great care of the building, but everything will be going to his daughters when he passes, for what he said. And I just kind of had a candid conversation with him is, can we have right of first refusal on this building when you pass, just to make sure we have some element of control of what happens here. We love our location. It's right by the museum. It still has to be a board decision on whether, if you guys pass, we've officially kind of filed with the county just to start to put things in play. So this isn't a guaranteed, are we set up properly that if and when that decision does come, we're in the best position to kind of do so. Because when people do pass, there's a lot of things that happen with states and whatnot. So we've talked about getting Randy Ema's personal Duesenberg collection of all of his things. He's like Jay Leno's Duesenberg guy. He has this collection of models, blueprints, all this kind of stuff. So I know with the museum, there's been conversation about possibly getting that. So that could be a location. So it could be kind of a museum location, kind of under our control. It could be a lot of different things. But obviously, if we ever did decide to buy it, we would try to find a way to monetize that to make sense for that overhead cost, so we can still, make the best attraction use out of it.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
I've never seen a right of first refusal where you pay money to be in the first right, but did you read it? Just $100, but I mean, it was
Yeah.
just yeah.
Zach said some kind of monetary
Yeah.
contribution would be the best way to solidify that. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it actually
okay.
makes it official at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that, a motion, or?
Yeah,
is
I'm
that just a
thinking.
yeah?
If you have any other questions, let me know. Like I said, I was just trying to put us in the
No.
best position if and when.
I'd make the motion that we sign this agreement granting right of first refusal for the Old Auburn Heating and Cooling property.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Well,
Appreciate it.
While don't go away.
Okay.
Jim, do you have any updates on our,
Oh,
what
yeah.
are becoming very serious delinquencies of the
Yeah.
Innkeeper's tax?
Yeah, and
Teresa followed up with me, so thank you
yeah,
very much.
I gave Teresa everything, asked her to check with, contact Amber. It's owned by an organization with 4 capital investors. They have hotels in 4 different states. This is now the 5th state. None of the others have an innkeeper's tax. I talked to the manager at some length, and it's Baymont, and it was Wingate. The same entity bought both of them, and now it's Baymont and Country Inn and Suites. I had been there a couple of times, and I talked to people there, and they were always going to get the manager to get in touch with me. The manager said, those people didn't know what they were talking about. You thought they were office workers. They're all in our housekeeping staff. That's why you never heard. And so I caught the manager in, had a lengthy discussion with him. I took the state of Indiana Department of Revenue puts out a booklet explaining everything. It's about 4, 5, 6 pages, something like that. I gave him a copy of that. He said, wait a minute now, is this the one that's 5% or 7%? I said, well, it's 5% is the innkeeper's tax. You must be talking about Department of Revenue for sales tax.
Well,
And
like
he's-
Fort Wayne, for example, they just moved motion to have a couple of years ago to 8%, but they have food and beverage too. So you're starting to kind of see inconsistencies even
Well,
within own
And,
states.
and this guy was very conscientious, was very remorseful about not knowing the situation. He said, I bet our investors don't know about it either. He contacted one of the investors. That guy called me that night
Good.
and said he was sorry and he was going to get it all taken care of, that it would take a while to process it all. He even showed me the 7% one, and I said, that's Department of Revenue. You better take care of that one right away.
Yeah.
Let me ask the question, like, I stayed in a hotel last night and it broke down the taxes, sales tax. Georgia has an innkeeper's tax. Well, if it's on there, they're surely collecting the tax, right? So there's got to be a line item in their accounting software saying, hey, where does this $82,000 go?
One would think so.
Well,
Ferrari, I don't
If it
know.
is, most states do have some sort of
Oh,
innkeeper's
yeah.
tax, and it differs, but,
Yeah.
so the fact that they weren't aware of it and being in 5 other states, I'm like, well, they better have somebody get on
yeah,
top
well,
of their stuff.
and the guy said, and I put his name in what I gave Teresa, but he said they were gonna move on it and take care of it right away. He had need to get together. I'm not surprised they haven't yet, because they said they'd do the best they could to get it logged in and make sure they had the tracking system so it didn't happen again. And those 2 hotels closed in September of last year, and so they're the ones who do own it all the way forward. It was paid current through August, and they know they need to pay for September through the current time.
Thank you for
Well,
your
and I will
follow-up.
tell you, I
Much
try to go to
appreciated.
the hotels at least once a quarter, and I keep a tracking list of kind of what I had sent you and Teresa, of who the current general manager is, what's applicable, like for phone number, email, but it changes so much that it's really hard to stay on top of. So, I mean, the fact that we have problems communicating with our hotels, it's kind of all over the place. And it's actually a bigger issue in the whole realm of tourism. I mean, we're seeing these problems everywhere, especially smaller communities. So just keep plugging away.
You should. You'll have more money soon.
I don't know, have any of you been to the Visitors Bureau where it is now across from the museum?
Every
You
month.
did a really nice job. I mean, I knew what it looked like when Rick was still there, because I did business with him. And you did a major improvement.
Thank
It's,
you very much. Appreciate it. We're, like I said, we're doing a lot of great things, and we just want to keep doing what we're doing. So I appreciate that.
a good facility. I have the pleasure of serving on the board, and we're doing some really good things.
Yeah, we are. And being right across from the ACB Museum, it's an easy landmark where I can say, do you know where the ACB Museum is? Literally right across the street. And it just helps orient people in all of my conversations. So it's a really just great spot to be.
Just wanted to bring up one more point. Amber,
Email these to you.
oh, go ahead.
I'll send them to you from email.
Yeah, the mural at the fire department in Corona. Amber helped get some money around for that, and it's worth the drive to drive up and look at that mural.
It's just super now.
Yeah,
We've been able to do that in smaller communities, make sure that we can give grants and show marketing support on that side to make sure that they're reaching those patronicity goals. Because the patronicity programs that you're seeing through the murals, they're state matched through, I think, a cigarette tax. And so they take some of that cigarette tax money and they put it back into like artistic projects. So if we have a goal of $10,000 and we can make sure they reach that $10,000, then the state matches another 10. So then our 10 automatically becomes that 20. And so that's how we've been able to do it in Garrett. We were able to do it in Corona. A Butler just matched their patronicity and we helped them with the small grants as well. So it's really making a difference in these smaller communities. So.
We have some more money for Corona too, about what, $8,000?
So, yeah, we actually
Which,
have, we had a surplus this year in grant money that people hadn't applied for. So we actually combined that. And what we're going to do is we basically divided it equally into 8 parts for each community. And each board member is taking basically a lead. And it's going to be actually almost $13,000, where it's a quality of place initiative where it's said, okay, here's 13 grand. What don't you have in your budget that you can really help your community? So like Butler, for example, Jody Barber with Heitman Steel, who's on our board, is working with Mayor Hartman. And they're going to do Butler's Talking Trash. So they're going to do trash receptacles to clean up the trash areas, but they're also like putting artistic panels on them, and they'll change those out like seasonally. And so it's basically just said, hey, we had a little bit of a surplus. Let's turn this into a quality of place initiative. Do something good that your community really needs right now that perhaps wasn't in your budget. So, I mean, we're just really honestly thinking outside of the box on some of these things. And I think it's making a difference. So,
Okay,
yeah.
that's great. Thanks,
Guys,
Amber.
appreciate it.
Okay. All right, we're down to miscellaneous. Todd, anything under miscellaneous topics?
Not really.
Mike?
I got an email from Beth Johnson at USI and another similar one from Andy at the City of Auburn about requesting that we consider signing a letter of support for the overpass project. They're applying for a federal grant for that.
Would this be Wayne Street,
Yeah.
over the railroad? Okay.
Yeah. So that's, it's probably going to be a $9 million project by the time all is said and done.
Time to get to it.
Yeah, it's I think it's a 90-10. It might be an 80-20, but I think it's a 90-10.
I thought I read 80-20.
Yeah, it could be.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, USI has been doing the engineering on that, which is why Beth got involved. But, there's no financial commitment or
Right.
anything from the county, but they're just asking for a letter of support. And Beth, well, they both actually sent a template, so.
I think it'd be great to have it because
It's, yeah,
safety, like Lakewood Park, one of their concerns out there is if they have an emergency and need an
Yeah,
ambulance,
yeah.
the only way they can get there is 69 and backtrack, which would add another 5 to 10 minutes to the trip. And
it's about 20 years late.
yeah,
I mean, when Garrett did theirs,
yeah.
we should have been jumped
And
on.
Garrett's was a little different because they have trains stop there, unload, but still same thing. I
Yeah,
agree.
they block that track.
Yeah, they block our track.
They
These
do not
trains are
hesitate to block that
3
track.
miles long now, 4
Yeah.
miles long.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah, this will end up being a 2025 or 2026 project.
Yeah,
I'd be in support of it.
Okay.
yeah,
I'll,
just bring in the form and
Yeah.
make a motion, sign it.
I'll email you the form if you'll want to print it out, and then we can sign it.
Right.
All right, thanks.
Do you want to do it right now?
I'm going to do it right now.
Got it.
Jim, you have anything?
Yeah,
Do you
just
want a
one
motion?
thing.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
Do you
that
want
I
a
want-
motion on that?
I don't think we need a motion. We're just saying we do support it. And we sign something, then we can make a motion to sign
Jim?
whatever's.
Yeah, well,
The-
I'm going to
Oh,
email.
you actually have the document?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Economic Development Commission met last Thursday. The last day that Susan can make sure different people get paid before the end of the year is December 5th. We set up a meeting for the Redevelopment Commission for tonight. Nothing substantive is going to happen. The Economic Development Commission, of which Mike is the lead guy in that, met and gave, you're better, Mike, than I am at describing it, but gave them basically one final chance to
Right.
show up with everything. And until a decision is made there, there's no sense in having a redevelopment commission meeting, until we're ready to go, until and unless the Economic Development Commission does something. The only thing that's going to be covered tonight is just approving minutes of the August 10th meeting and approving claims for those so they could get paid yet this month before the end of the year. I didn't want you to think it was something substantive. And I warrant and I promise, nothing substantive is going to happen now.
Do you plan on considering the agreement between the RDC and
Oh, yes,
and the
I
EDC
do.
on attorney fees? Thank
I
you.
do.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the liberty of saying you had a discussion with the head of the State Board of Accounts, because you can't get much higher than that. And I will
Yeah.
relate that in support for
Well,
that motion.
But, and obviously, they didn't make a commitment to
No,
anything.
I know.
Except they said that,
Well,
that their people give very sound advice.
It helps having that, because there was some concern
Yeah.
on the part of bond counsel whether it would be, the funds could be used for that purpose, and I'm comfortable,
Yeah.
given what we've all talked about.
And we did get an email from the
And that will be
SBOA.
considered and that will be approved. I'm glad you brought it up. It's
Okay.
in my file folder for all of the members, but it will be, and I'll confirm for you if and when I ever get my email back.
Yeah, we signed it at the last EDC
I-
meeting.
I saw that.
Susan
I
has
was
the-
here for
Susan has
that.
the copy, so.
Yeah,
Am I still,
and that's all I had, Bill.
Okay.
do I still have correct understanding we're waiting for ASG to provide proof of financing availability on their behalf, and we still haven't
and some other
received that
things,
commitment?
yeah.
Well, they've given the financing, and Mike can discuss this far better than me, okay? But they have given financing, which is in a step approach. You got to get this one done before they'll consider the other one. And so there are contingencies on everything, which is not abnormal. It's just that the Economic Development Commission wants to see more than that. They'd like this, I don't know if you still had the irrevocable letter of credit for 65 million. Ain't no way that's going to happen, because it's just the way things work in this world, which means we may not get it.
Put much faith in irrevocable letters of credit.
Yeah. Well, it's better than a commitment letter of interest.
Oh, I know, I'm
which
just saying.
Just simply says.
Yeah.
Jerry Maguire say, show me the money, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we will see what, we will see. We have a list of things, and
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I did have it for tonight, but at least you bringing it up had me on the EDC and paying the fees from the RDC. It would have been covered, but this way the other two commissioners are aware of it as well, so thank you for that.
good.
That's just everything that needs signed from
For
the
the,
meeting.
right.
That needs all of it.
Yeah, this is the, in support of the overpass.
Right.
We decided let's do a motion.
I think we should have
I'll
one.
make a motion to sign the support for the overpass for the city of Auburn.
Should we read that just to make sure that it says what you think it ought to
Say
say?
it's, we support, yeah, what does it really say? Don't we have to sign it to see what's in it? Isn't that what Congress does?
There's a $10 million figure here.
Just give it to Nancy, she'll pay it.
It's short and sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Did you make the motion?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Motion and second. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Todd, just keep it, wait, have Todd keep that. You're gonna have a stack of things coming, and then I'll get,
I'm going to stack things back up here.
I lose stuff.
I'm watching.
Okay.
Did you confirm?
Yes, I sent you a text also, so you knew.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Those are the minutes.
One more.
The last claim form there, that's for the special claims you guys approved last week as presented. So I'll have one more claim for you to sign when Leanne brings it in.
Okay. Anything else, Susan?
You have me in the works for a check for my
There might be something else.
hotel. Week of the 20th.
Look. I'll look, but I think I do.
Okay. That's not till next Monday, but the 28th, so just when I leave.
Yes.
All right. Any other miscellaneous? Anyone? We got 10 minutes to break. I will bring up something, we can pick it up after break. I would like to, I would suggest that we reopen the solar ordinance. I'd like to make some changes and tweaks to it. We have to go through Plan Commission first.
Yes,
What's that process look like to do that?
I'm sorry.
What does that process look like to do that?
You just get with, Chris, and Chris gets Sarah Delbeck involved in it.
That's, first of all, you can't just reopen the ordinance. Okay? If you want to make amendments, either a commissioner or a plan commission member has to submit or sponsor specific amendments to the ordinance, which is then goes to the plan commission for their consideration on those specific
Changes?
yeah. And I'm also working on some too, so maybe we can coordinate and so we're not submitting duplicate things.
Okay. I'm sure mine's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the procedure on that. And then Plan Commission will either pass or reject, and then they would come back to the commissioners for the final vote.
What if they reject it? Are we dead in the water as far as making any changes?
No. No, because the legislative body in the final analysis would always override. So I guess the correct terminology is the Plan Commission will either forward, after their deliberation, forward the amendments with a favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation. And then the commissioners would act
All right.
on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with everything Mike just explained in more detail than I had suggested.
Okay. I'll be gone this week. I'll get with it as soon as I get back. I'll get with Chris. Or I'll get with him in email. I can probably do it through email,
Yeah.
and I'll get with him that way.
All right.
And give it to him, and we'll go
Okay.
get that rolling.
Sure.
Okay. We're almost at 10 o'clock. Let's take our break, do our pledge, and then we'll have Mr. Provines up.
Jim, one question on that topic, just real quick. If there is an amendment to the UDO, am I correct in thinking that it can't be retroactive if there's already been development plans submitted?
It can't be retroactive. It's got to be prospective in nature.
Yeah, okay.
I would suggest we put any applications on hold.
But what,
Any applications on hold at this point?
yeah,
Memorandum, is that the word?